and good Saturday evening here on Twisted Talk. I'm Gary. Thanks for joining me with the latest from the National Hurricane Center on Hurricane Melissa. Melissa is starting to rapidly intensify and is expected to become a major hurricane on Sunday. Life-threatening and catastrophic flash flooding and landslides expected in portions of southern Hispaniola and Jamaica into early next week. Here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The center of Hurricane Melissa was located near latitude 16.6 degrees north, longitude 75.5 degrees west. That is 130 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica, and 250 miles west-southwest of Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Now, Melissa is moving slowly to the west at 3 miles an hour. A slow westward motion is expected tonight through the end of the weekend. A turn to the north and northeast is forecast on Monday and Tuesday. On the forecast track, the center of Melissa is expected to move near or over Jamaica during the weekend into early next week and could be near over eastern Cuba by the middle of the week. Now, maximum sustained winds have increased to over 90 miles an hour with higher gusts. Rapid intensification is forecast to continue over the next day or so. Melissa is forecast to become a major hurricane tomorrow and is expected to still be a major hurricane when making landfall in Jamaica on Monday. Hurricane force winds now extend up to 15 miles from the center. Tropical storm force winds extend up to 160 miles. The barometric pressure from the last hurricane our aircraft passed through is 28.77 inches. That is what's going on. The latest from the Hurricane Center, but there is more. But let's give you an update on the watches and warnings. This has been updated as of 5 o'clock this evening. The government of Cuba has issued a hurricane watch for the Cuban provinces of Granma, Santiago de Cuba, Guantanamo, and Holguin. That is going in effect this evening. A summary of watches and warnings in effect. Again, a hurricane warning now in effect for Jamaica, the whole island. Hurricane watch is in effect for the southwestern peninsula of Haiti, from the border with the Dominican Republic to Port-au-Prince, Cuban provinces of Granma, Santiago de Cuba, Guantanamo, and Holguin. A tropical storm warning is in effect for the southwestern peninsula of Haiti, from the border with the Dominican Republic to Port-au-Prince. A hurricane warning again means that hurricane conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area. A warning is typically issued 36 hours before the anticipated first occurrence of tropical storm force winds. Conditions that make outside preparations difficult or dangerous. A hurricane watch means conditions are possible in the watch area of a hurricane within 36 hours. Now, interest in Haiti, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and the southeastern and south central Bahamas, and the Turks and Caicos Islands should monitor the progress of Melissa. Now, Melissa will be heading over into the Bahamas probably Wednesday or Thursday of this week, and then it'll be out over the open Atlantic, and we'll see what they say from that point. But let me give you another breakdown on what's happening as far as impacts on land. This is going to be crucial. Tropical storm conditions are expected to begin in Jamaica by tonight. Hurricane conditions expected late Sunday or early Monday. Tropical storm conditions are expected and hurricane conditions are possible within the watch and warning areas in Haiti later today. Hurricane conditions are possible in the watch area in eastern Cuba Tuesday into Wednesday. Here's the updated rainfall forecast now. Melissa is now expected to bring 15 to 30 inches of total rain in portions of southern Hispaniola and Jamaica into Wednesday. A local max in those areas of 40 to 50 inches is possible. Additional heavy rainfall is likely beyond Wednesday, but exact storm totals are still uncertain. Catastrophic flash flooding and landslides are probable across portions of southern Hispaniola and Jamaica. For eastern Cuba, a total rainfall of 6 to 12 inches, while local amounts up to 18 are expected into Wednesday, resulting in life-threatening flash flooding and landslides. Additional heavy rainfall is likely beyond Wednesday, but exact storm totals are still uncertain. That has to do with the motion of Melissa only now moving at about 3 miles an hour. It will increase a bit as we go into the early part of next week, but how much, they don't really know yet. Here's another big thing to be concerned about. Life-threatening storm surge is becoming more likely along the south coast of Jamaica later in the weekend or early next week. Peak storm surge heights could reach 9 to 13 feet above ground level, near and to the east of where the center of Melissa makes landfall. This storm surge will be accompanied by large and destructive waves. The possible for significant storm surge along the southeast of Cuba could happen early next week. Swells generated by Melissa are expected to affect portions of Hispaniola, Jamaica, and eastern Cuba during the next several days. And so that's what we have from that. Let's check one more thing for you here. Again, just a quick summation. Rapid intensification appears to have started, assuming Melissa stays far enough south of Jamaica over the next couple of days. There appears to be few impediments to its intensification in the short term. Both the hurricane regional models and the computer runs ensemble suggest rapid intensification could continue for the next 36 to 48 hours. In fact, once again, 4 of the 5 computer runs have shown forecasting a peak intensity of Category 5. Now, the 3 p.m. computer runs today also showed peak intensity of Category 5 in 48 hours. Afterwards, some intercore oscillations such as eyewall replacement cycles could lead to fluctuations in intensity before its first landfall in Jamaica. But whether it's either Cat 5 or high in Cat 4, it's not going to make much difference to the people in Jamaica. It's still going to be a dangerous, deadly hurricane when it makes landfall. Melissa is expected to be at least that intensity of a high-end Cat 4 when it moves over Jamaica. Land interaction will likely lead to some weakening as it moves northeastward across Jamaica, but the storm will likely grow in size and still forecast to be probably a Cat 4 hurricane impacting Cuba probably Wednesday of this coming week. So that's the latest on that. The concerns are that it may lose some of its punch, but it will regain its punch pretty quickly by the time it moves out back over the Atlantic and heads into Cuba. So let me give you a rundown on that real quick from the maps we have here. So this rainfall map we'll look at in a second, but the map of the progress, again, it's going to be slow progression. Tomorrow it'll still be well off the coast of Jamaica. It'll take Monday, during the day Monday, where it'll start to encroach on Jamaica. Landfall could be late Monday night, early Tuesday, depending on the forward speed. It will not exit Jamaica into the Atlantic until probably late afternoon on Tuesday. So you've got about 24 to 36 hours of this hurricane causing all kinds of issues for the people in Jamaica. And then it will slowly move across the eastern part of Cuba. Landfall should be early evening Tuesday. It'll go through most of the night, and it should emerge back north of Cuba and back in the Atlantic probably Wednesday morning. Now, Wednesday afternoon to Thursday, it could brush the eastern Bahamas. That will be a situation we'll have to monitor carefully. After that, it moves pretty much over the open Atlantic. It is heading in the general direction of Bermuda, but it should start to weaken significantly as it gets into colder waters and more wind shear in the upper atmosphere as we go through the week. We'll have to wait and see what happens on that. Again, I want to take a look at the rainfall forecast for these areas. There are places that could get 40 to 50 inches of rain in the mountainous areas of Jamaica and also as we move up toward Cuba. This is going to be an incredible situation. Again, 20 inches of rain are possible in some areas of what? The Dominican Republic and Haiti. It's going to be a mess, and this is going to be significant rains. Even places that may get 6 to 8 inches of rain still could have an issue. There are many places that could receive up to a foot of rain. Again, higher amounts locally are possible. This is going to be a very dangerous situation, a very side of infrastructure damage, landslides, massive flooding, incredible storm surge. And remember, these islands out there, they're not way above sea level. They're at sea level. Some of the mountains on these islands may go up a little bit, but not enough to really impede the storm direction. It's going to be a real mess. And it's going to be a thing. It's going to be literally an hour-by-hour situation. We're going to have to watch what happens. Again, let me give you the 5 o'clock information from the National Hurricane Center. The center of Hurricane Melissa was located near latitude 16.6 degrees north, longitude 75.5 degrees west. That's about 130 miles southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. The Melissa is slowly moving to the west at near 3 miles an hour. That crawling motion is going to basically be maintained well into Monday and Tuesday. A slow westward motion is expected tonight through the end of the weekend. Monday will be a turn to the north and northeast as it makes landfall somewhere in Jamaica. On that forecast track, after crossing Jamaica back in the open Atlantic, it may regain some strength and then impact the eastern coast of Cuba as a major hurricane. The Bahamas are not completely out of the woods yet. There could be issues on Thursday with Melissa brushing through the Bahama Islands, especially the eastern part of the island. So that's what we've got on there. This is going to be, again, a wild situation. We'll keep an eye on here on Twister Talk, give you updates. But our thoughts and prayers are going to go out to those people because they're going to need to be ready for that. I'm sure they are, and there's all they can do. But, think about the Isle of Haiti. That's a pretty impoverished country. And there's not a lot of money or help to go through those areas. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But we've had some really nasty hurricanes the last couple of years, and this looks like, unfortunately, it's going to be another one of those. I'll have more information for you tomorrow morning. I'll give you a complete update of what's going on. And tomorrow afternoon. For Twisted Talk, I'm Gary. Stay smart, stay safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.